What is that? That freaky thing? It's a naked mole rat. Yeah, it's academic time. Ahoy hoy gang, if this is your first time with us, welcome, and if you're joining us from our previous video, hey, we love to see it, and I hope you're doing well. Yeah, it's another episode of Amercan Dad, and man, we keep winning. I was not expecting this episode to be as good as it was. Spoilers, it's solid. All of this is terrific. We might as well just get into it. You know, what are those 3 questions that have to be asked? What worked? What failed? What Klaus dad bro shenanigans will be curtailed? There's so many marmalade anecdotes to tell. Oh my, I think it's time to review. Dude, you're getting a Dell. You know, okay, there's 2 really important things to talk about right out the gate. One, Stan has been barely in like the last 4 episodes. Treasure Old Chinatown, he left on a high note and he was just gone the whole way. Reaper Madness, he was there, but it was more of a family adventure. Like, Stan is not the focus every single episode. He doesn't need to be a part of it. And sure enough, in this episode, he doesn't have any weekend plans, so he's cut from the episode. He's not there. He's not the focus of Amercan Dad. And I love that. I genuinely love that they don't force Stan into stories. They don't force a total return to normal at the end of the episode, and it can't move on from this moment. But we'll get into that. The other thing is, like, okay, let's look at the world of Amercan Dad. Everyone is part of the show. Everyone is part of Amercan Dad. But there's this very delicate dancing everyone does around this idea that, are they actors? Are they real? Is it, well, everyone knows that Haley and Stan are actually, so-and-so actors, and that's their big thing. Like, yeah, sure. And you could just say, but that's a multiverse, though. And then they go, well, I mean, anything could be a multiverse, I guess. And then you go, yeah, it's a cartoon. It's just a cartoon. You don't need to think that deep about it. You don't need to overanalyze it. You don't need to review every single episode of the TBS era available right now. It's like 7 hours long, something ludicrous like that. But Amercan Dad takes a different approach than Family Guy does with, this is just a cartoon. Family Guy, none of this matters. You're gonna die eventually. Watch Family Guy. Ha ha, Peter did a thing. Amercan Dad, it's a cartoon. We can do whatever we want with it, and that's fine. Haley opens up a cat cafe. Haley's struggling to keep the cat cafe open, but it's okay. Roger, his marmalade, is going to try and take him to court to take over the entire cat cafe after failing to show up because he's got to take care of his kittens. Haley loses just years of hard work and effort to try and open a Japanese cat cafe. She understood and followed the demand for Japanese cat cafes and saw a gap in the market. I love it. I love everything about it. I love that Roger is just absolutely the worst, and he's unapologetic about it in this episode, and that works. Like, I know, like, well, if you remember, back in Franny 911, he's gotta be mean or he'll die. And again, it's, okay, sure, but maybe that's just who Roger is, and that's also fine. He doesn't hate Haley. He doesn't want Haley to fail. He's doing this. This is what Marmalade's scheming. And I love that. I love that the family can be active antagonists against the family, and next week, they won't be, and that's fine. It's a way to engage more of the family actively. So you don't have someone that consistently sits on the sidelines, Meg. You don't have someone that's just there as the butt of a joke, Meg. You have to, diversify enough. And I think Roger being an active antagonist just sings. And speaking of active antagonists, let's get into that sweet, sweet A story. While Snot and Steve are having a sleepover and Snot's getting Steve's rose just right, they start to hear a noise when they go to brush their teeth together. It's glycerin. Meaning Klaus has a woman over and they're getting funny, bro. Turns out Klaus is sleeping with Snot's mom. So yeah, now Klaus has to pretend to be a father figure for Snot so that he can keep doing that. Yeah. And this is where I was baffled. This is where I was just utterly amazed. They referenced Paranoid Frandroid from like 8 years ago. We get the return of Snot's beloved potential father figure, Dell. What? The guy from the Chesterbrook townhomes? He's back? And I genuinely don't even remember if I talked about it in that episode review, but Dell is played by Kyle MacLachlan, the one true Atreides. Suck it, Chalamet. His peaks are twin. He is a legend. And I never really appreciated the cadence to Dell's voice. It reminds me a lot of MacLachlan in Portlandia, where he played the mayor of Portland, and it was great. He is a genuinely funny guy, and I can't imagine someone like D. Bradley Baker playing Dell, you know? Like, Dell's character he's just so wholesome in the best way, and I love it. 'Cause, like, yeah, the A story's kind of whatever. It's, you know, Klaus is tired of Dell being a better dad to Snot, and he gets jealous, and then he experiences what having a dad is like through Dell, and realizes that Snot's getting in the way of his happiness, so obviously he's got to take Snot out so he can be with his forever dad, Dell, even though he's like a 45-year-old German man in a goldfish. Like, that is where Amercan Dad is now. Where Family Guy is effectively doing, oh my god, Joe's walking on air again, Amercan Dad takes the time to actually not only reference a previous episode, but involve that episode again. The stories of Amercan Dad don't happen in a complete vacuum, and I love that. If they never want to touch an episode again, they don't have to. But even in like Reaper Madness, they're referencing the Witches of Langley. They're not just saying, oh, pocket dimension, multiverse. Any of our fun episodes don't necessarily happen in the universe that you're watching. It's, yeah, man, maybe, sure, who cares? It's a cartoon. And Amercan Dad, as dumb as it is, and I know, don't overanalyze a cartoon, but it genuinely is the spirit of pure curiosity. I know that sounds way too grandiose for a show about a talking fish, but it's like, look at where Amercan Dad started, you know? Klaus is desperately in love with Francine. He's always trying to get his body back. He is scheming. He's ready to get out and get his revenge. Now, Klaus is this Florida bum that's from the I-9 with his Miami bros who know what a pregnant armadillo looks like. And he's out here just, you know, plowing Snot's mom. And that's great. You know, all things considered, that's pretty rad for Klaus. Klaus has his own identity now as a fish. He has lived a life as this fish. And we've gotten 2 Klaus episodes back to back. A talking fish is able to carry an episode of Amercan Dad on his tiny orange shoulders. And I love that. I love that they're still being creative this deep into the show in a way that you could go, yeah, sure, Jeff and Rogu go on an adventure, and you go, you know what? I'm locked in. Tell me where this goes. I yearn to learn. And I mean, even if we call Reaper Madness like the side episode and like the Grim Reaper bits don't really matter to the overall narrative, sure, fine, whatever. I bet you're a banger at parties. I hate you. It's still creative. They still take time to cut away and go, yeah, here's Patrick Stump as the Grim Reaper just thrashing out. And you're like, that's awesome. I love that. That's fantastic. Keep going, please. Went back and rewatched that episode. You know what episode I don't want to go back and rewatch? The one where they do Family Guy viewer mail again. What if we did? Chris Griffin loses his earring, but it's Lord of the Rings for 6 minutes. It's lazy. That's it. This is the good stuff. This is that sweet primo American daddage. I think it's all perfectly encapsulated in the moment where they pause the episode and go, hey gang, how about you whisper in the side of your TV who you think Snot has respect for as a Jewish athlete, and we'll say who's got it right at the end of the episode. I love when they do that. I love when they break the episode for the dumbest contests, and I want to believe in my heart of hearts there is some true dadder out there that got up and whispered a name behind their TV and kind of, in just like the far off distance of their mind, they hoped Roger would say their name. And unless they're Kevin Hart, he didn't. But it's that iota of joy, that spark that Amercan Dad still has in its DNA that I really appreciate. I appreciate that now that we're this deep into a Neo-Fox era where everybody's the exact same creatively and all they can't do is say certain words that'll have to be censored, I really appreciate that they still have this creative vision. They still have these ideas, and they're not shying away with these ideas. Like, dude, you're getting a Dell references a TBS episode. If they don't know it, sure, you get some flashes of Paranoid Frandroid, but you don't get the full experience of Paranoid Frandroid. Wasn't a particularly, beloved and standout episode that everyone's quoting or anything. Just a really good episode of Amercan Dad, and they wanted to do more with Dell. And they got the original, they got Kyle MacLachlan back. And like I've said it before, but when people come on Amercan Dad, they try. There is still so much passion in the deliveries. And I know I don't talk about him much. I really don't. But Curtis Armstrong, at this point, is a huge part of why Amercan Dad works. I genuinely, after 20 seasons, I could not imagine the series without Snot. Snot has become just this perfect foil to Steve, and he wouldn't have been without the original King of the Nerds. I mean, maybe it's just from a recent rewatching of Dan Versus. Curtis Armstrong just brings so much to the table. And I mean, Snot's mom, Esther, she's great. Susie Essman is fantastic as her, but she never... she never took off this episode. She's just sort of there, and do I need more of Snot's mom's involvement? Not really. But in an episode like this, it kind of would have been nice to have her be a bit more engaged in it. I understand it's more about, Dell, Klaus, and Snot, but she's very connected to all three of those people. Maybe make this a Snot's family adventure. I don't know. I really like this episode, and I'm really, really glad this was the episode we got this week. It fixed something in me. I've said it before, but it fixed something I didn't know was broken. I didn't know I needed a resolution on the Dell storyline. I didn't know I needed to see Snot, have some kind of father figure and a bond. And, who cares? Full disclosure, my father passed around Memorial Day. And so, year 26, let's do it to it. Yeah. But I don't know. Seeing Snot, who grappled with having a dead dad, member of the DDS, welcome, brother. It it always gave me something to relate to. It always gave me something that, hey, I'm not alone. When you typically feel more alone than ever. And I didn't realize how connected I was to Snot. And seeing him have that happy ending, even if it's just for an episode, even if we don't get Dell after this, even if this is just where they look off into the sunset and that's that, I got something out of this episode I don't get out of most media. I got a satisfaction I don't usually feel. This episode made me feel whole for a little bit. It made me feel genuine joy. And that's good enough for it to be just kind of perfect for me. Dude, You're Getting a Dell is a shaved against the scales 10 out of 10. And there we have it. That was my review of Dude, You're Getting a Dell. Anything I was right on? Wrong on? What were your favorite parts of the episode? Least favorite? Let me know in the comments below. And if you like what you saw, consider liking, subscribing, hyping, and telling your friends we're out here. Yeah, no, sometimes Amercan Dad just hits. I know I'm getting sappy here, but Amercan Dad has been there whenever I was at my lowest point. Whenever I needed a pick-me-up, I've always had Amercan Dad. I've had family members pass, and that night I watch Amercan Dad as this comfort show, as this just quiet in the maelstrom. And it takes a very special show to always be a safe haven, to always be that alcove against the stormy seas. And I really, truly appreciate the hard work that's gone into this show, managing to stay fresh for 20 seasons. It's genuinely incredible. And Dude, You're Getting a Dell goes up against even some of the best TBS era episodes and probably pushes them out in my book. I'm genuinely baffled that this is one of the best episodes of Amercan Dad I've seen in a minute. And it's not like because the episodes before it were bad. They've been excellent. This just, I don't know. This hit different. Maybe it didn't hit it different for you, and that's A-okay. Maybe you couldn't stand it. I'm sure I'll post this on Reddit, and I'm sure people will tell me I'm wrong. But that's why we post on Reddit, to be told we're wrong. Anyway, that's going to do it for us here at the Lecture Hall. And if you want to support the channel, consider joining our membership or our Patreon programs today. $2 a month gets you your name on this fancy list. And all the good stuff that comes with it. Look at them. Look at how cool they are. Remember, stay strong, keep fighting that good fight, and know that I believe in you. I know Mother's Day just passed, and I know Father's Day is coming up. If you've lost a parent and they meant something to you, if they were close to you, know that they would be proud of you, know that they love you, and know that I'm proud of you too. Even if you just woke up in the morning, it's okay. It's okay to not be okay, but we keep fighting. A rising tide lifts all ships, and I can feel one hell of a wave a-coming. Goodbye, everybody, and I'll see you in like a week and a half. I'm taking some me time, but I'll be back, I promise. Goodbye, everybody.